Hello, my name is Marcus. I'm the compiler of a collection of therapy quotes entitled 1001 Windmills of the Mind, a collection of advanced self-help quotes taken from what's often called the psychodynamic or the psychoanalytic perspective, which long ago, as I understand it, was referred to by some as philosophical medicine or narrative medicine. Once again, to borrow a line from the singer Steve Perry, who has a song entitled For the Love of Strange Medicine off his second solo album by that title as well. And in particular, in the last video, I kind of highlighted what I thought might be a good example of how strange these quotes are. So we're currently posting quotes by the author, this Elan Golem, her two books called Trapped in the Mirror and her sequel, her excellent sequel called Unloved Again. And we're doing a 14-part run, and this is the last of 14. So I kind of regard her approach, I'm just, for the time being, just for fun, I'm calling it psychoanalytic tough love. She sort of has a strong kind of message in her books, in particular the second one, Unloved Again, where she really wants to make clear that that if the child didn't get mother's love, okay, then they gotta kind of really accept that and not still have some kind of hope that if they find a copy of the parent, a parent copy, and continue that hope with the mother, just transferring that to the person in the present who reminds you of the mother in the past, that somehow your mother in the past is going to change her ways, or you'll get mother's love in the past using the person in the present as emotionally as your mother in the past. And you do that because you believed she loved you, or okay, hang on here. When the baby's needs don't get met, okay, when the baby's needs don't get met, he thinks he's a goner. So from that point of view, we might say that the baby wasn't loved. The mother was impaired, the mother was emotionally unavailable, she was stuck with her pain in her past, and she might be repeating her past in the present, where the present becomes a new edition of the past, because the mother has a lot of pain in her past and she wants to get out of that pain. So due to repetition compulsion, she's going to recreate the interaction with her mother, hoping for a better outcome. So when her baby comes on the scene, she might just cast her own baby into the role of her back then while she plays a shaming mother. And the behavior is she's going to shame her own baby the way the mother shamed her, because the mother at that time made the famous Faustian pact called identification with the aggressor. If the mother herself had experienced a lot of pain with her mother, she crosses over, so to speak, identifies with the aggressor. Now she's going to act like the mother onto herself. So that means she has a mother. That means she has some hope with the mother. That means she whitewashes her quote-unquote crime like that. And she has the hope that if she mimics her, imitates her, that maybe she'll get mother's love like that. But what did the mother do? The mother hurt her. So now she adopts her power. So now she feels a little more aggressive like that. She won't be the victim, but she is the victim because she's shaming herself the way the mother shamed her, because the fusion, self and other are one like that. So when the baby comes on the scene, okay, she'll fantasize that the baby's her. Okay, shame her own baby, thinking the baby is her crying for love, and she's the mother who says no to her, but the baby's playing her, so she says no to the baby, thinking the baby's her. So in identification with the aggressor, okay, they get this allure, this big allure about it, is they get mother's power. You're not going to be passive anymore. You feel the blissful oneness of the mother because you didn't leave her, so you're still in that blissful oceanic feeling. Now, in normal development, when the child feels safe and loved, he can hatch out, have a differentiation like that. So the baby's in a natural state of blissful oneness, oceanic feeling, this heavenly blissful kind of feeling. He's naturally in that kind of state. And when he feels safe and nourished in a psychological egg for the first 4 to 5 months, he can kind of hatch out of it, have a sense of self, he differentiates, and all is good like that. So he kind of gets out of that phase. It's gradual, and it mainly dissipates at 18 months. But if the mother didn't, if this mother here as a baby didn't get her mother's love, okay, that she's stuck in the target of a negative fusion, and if it's so painful like that, she crosses over, becomes her. So now she feels she's got the mother's power, lives forever because in the belief, because that part of the brain doesn't know time. It's timeless. That's why they say they live forever. There's no time. Of course she doesn't live forever, but she believes She doesn't understand. Doesn't care about time, put it that way. So she thinks she has that. Doesn't have to worry about time, because when she imitates the mother, she's in a blissful state, mimicking the mother. Tell you the truth, this is take 2. Can you believe it? I just finished take 1. It wasn't meant to be a take 1. I just did this video. I kind of got into a flow for a bit, and son of a gun, my phone overheated, or the battery overheated or something, and it just shut down. No warning, so I couldn't capture it. So this is take 2. I feel a little disappointed, because I had the fresh enthusiasm in take 1, and I'm on the verge here. Should I just try another day, or just maybe just do a second take here? So I won't have the excitement that I had in take 1. It's a real pity. I gotta do it again here. Let's see. I gotta keep an eye on the battery here. Okay, let's see if it works this time. Yeah, I'm having a little tech issue here on my phone. I've lost several good videos, unfortunately, but luckily I think we posted a lot of good, strong videos overall. So 3 continents, 4 years, 10,000 quotes, with the hope being that 1 out of 10 will be of help. Yeah. Oh. I think that vent, I think that air conditioning vent might be some condensation here. Okay. Problem is, I'm experimenting with this sort of corner spot here, because my other spots are kind of taken. Okay, let's see if I can pick up some of the momentum that I had before. Jeepers. So we're currently doing Miss Elan Golem's 2 books, Trapped in the Mirror and Unloved Again. And so I'm kind of just informally referring to her approach as psychoanalytic tough love, because she was really trying to, especially in the second book, she was really trying to make clear that, look, if you didn't get mother's love, you got to admit it. If you didn't get her love, you need to admit that, and then you're free. If you don't admit it, okay, then you're loyal to it, you're going to be dysfunctional, you're going to recreate that dysfunction with others, either the passive way where you find others who disappoint you, or you find others to play you and you disappoint them, and then you're angry at the one, and then the one you disappoint, you flip-flop and think your mother hurt you, then you're angry with the one you disappointed. So in other words, you shame others, and then hocus pocus, because of the fusion, the one you just shamed, you think it's your mother hurting you, and now you're angry with the one you just shamed. This is dysfunctional stuff like that. The benign one is you just play yourself, and you find others disappointing you, or the more perverse one called the stinger mode, or the freezing parent mode, where you made that crossover, you identify with the aggressor, find proxies to play you, you shame them, as you shame them, hocus pocus, auto-hypnosis, the one you shame, you think it's the mother hurting you, and anger the one you just shamed. This is terrible stuff like this, right? So that means you're whitewashing mother's lovelessness, you're whitewashing that she hurt you, because you still have the hope, you still believe that her pain was somehow love, you still have that kind of hope there. What's this hope? Why is the person waiting around? What's this ineffectual waiting for? That's what she calls that neurosis. Well, you're waiting for mother's love. You need mother's love to feel safe to go through a developmental process. You need to feel safe with her, most in particular for the first 4 to 5 months in a blissful oneness with her. Then you can begin to differentiate, hatch out. The sense of self can hatch out of the fusion that was there prior. So you're still looking for that kind of thing. So let's say in my take 1, I spent a lot of time with a hypothetical example about a mother. Let's see if I can change it up here then. Okay, so to cut to the chase here, so it's called honoring. The true meaning of honor your mother and honor your father, honor your parents, is you admit the truth of it all. You accept the truth. That's called honoring. If you don't honor, okay, then you're going to be dysfunctional. But the meaning of honor means you know the true psychological situation with the parents. The mother didn't love the baby, okay? Meaning the baby's needs were met. He thought he was a goner, i.e. wasn't loved. Okay. Doesn't matter the mother's conscious intention. If she doesn't have a sense of identity, if she doesn't have a sense of self, if she didn't differentiate from her mother, and she doesn't have that emotional warmth in her, she can't love the baby. She doesn't have the quote-unquote psychic structure to love the baby, or the quote-unquote internal working mother to love the baby. So if the mother herself, when she was a baby, okay, she needed that oneness with her mother, and if she didn't get it, she made the Faustian pact, where she was stuck in the tarpit of a negative union with the mother, that she becomes the mother, thinking it's more energizing or something to be the aggressor. Then you think you're not going to be victimized by her, so you're going to act like her. And then when you do that, you get a blissful feeling because you maintain this perverse oneness with the mother. So the daughter has a real complex, mother complex like this. Now she's going to imitate the mother. So how's that going to work? Well, that's why it's called externalized living, scapegoating, emotional triangle. They got to find someone else to stand in for them, which they're going to shame. Then they feel excited. See, mother, I'm just like you. That person, I'm going to pretend is me. I'm going to shame them the way you shame me. See, mother, we're one like that. Don't you feel happy? Don't you feel seen? Don't you feel mirrored? Don't you feel that you got your oneness meets? Because what happened was, when that mother, the grandmother here, when she heard her daughter, okay, that mother didn't get the oneness that she needed herself. So she hurt her own baby unknowingly, to compel the baby to reach out to her and admire her and think well of her and try to save her and fix her and cure. The mother loves all this attention, loves this kind of quote-unquote supply. Okay, so the first book, Trapped in the Mirror by Miss Golem. Okay, they're good like part 1, part 2 kind of thing. The first book of hers is called Trapped in the Mirror. So Narcissus looks in the pool of water, he sees reflections, all he sees, he's trapped like that. Okay, normal development, the child's one with the mother. Okay, now the breast mother, the baby thinks is his possession. It's a thing that he owns. Okay, so this is called part object relating. So in the child's sense of self, like a little circle, okay, whatever otherness he's not aware of, but the otherness is another circle blurred in with his circle, and they got a doubled in circle, and the baby thinks this doubled in a circle is him. So the breast is a part of him, he owns it like that. So in now normal development, okay, he gets loved and nourished, he gets out of that mirror. He's not trapped there, he's not trapped in that mirror like that. So if he didn't get the needs met like that, he's quote unquote trapped there, meaning he has the hope, the unconscious hope for the fulfillment of that symbiotic needs, that self-object needs from another, that blissful oneness, that oceanic feeling with that Garden of Eden, Shambhala, Shangri-La like that. He needs that kind of paradise with the mother, this extended social interpersonal womb-like condition where the mother's attuned and soothes and sees and recognizes, accepts. The child feels warm and nourished, he's growing. He's in a quote-unquote psychological egg, then he can start to hatch out, he differentiates out of that kind of thing. Now if he didn't get that, okay, then that part of the brain doesn't know time, so there's the need for it, doesn't know time, enter repetition compulsion. Okay, now in the case of narcissism, okay, he's going to look for supply. They call it narcissistic supply. So he'll go through life looking for supply. Okay, so he'll treat everybody, Lucy Holmes puts it this way, they'll treat everybody basically like symbolic breasts, okay, want to be fed by them, but not acknowledge that the feeder is a person. It's a thing that's feeding them. It's a human feeding, but they don't want to recognize the person that feeding is a person, because they're still at the place where they think the breast is the thing they own. So others are just things they own, but they got to be human, they got to be fed like the motherly fed like that. So they suck breasts dry, discard them like that. Okay. Now if they get something from somebody, they think, well, it's theirs anyway, so why should there be gratitude? Okay. Now, so narcissism is famous for lack of empathy, lack of gratitude, lack of reparation, lack of care like that, because so we know about the famous symptoms of narcissism. They're the center of it all. It's all about them. Okay, just jungle slogans. They think they're entitled like that. They're always entitled because they're the center. It's all about them. The way the baby's the center and the breast serves and feeds and comforts and does that. The baby's the center. He's entitled. It's all about him like that. Babies think they're little gods and kings. Narcissism thinks they're in this dollhouse solipsistic bubble where they don't really relate to others. People with narcissism don't really love or relate. They just use and exploit, and the others are just things to serve them. And they think others should be happy to serve them, while they hate them and thingify them, but they need to be fed and not acknowledge them as people, because they're still at the place where the baby doesn't understand that the breast belongs to the mother, and the breast with the mother is a person. They didn't get to that place yet. That's why others are things like that. Okay, so trapped in the mirror, right? So if the baby's needs don't get met, there's trauma we repeat. we have the unconscious hope for the fulfillment of those old unfulfilled needs. So that's going to translate to supply. Okay, so they're going to go through life looking for supply. So they'll lie, twist, deceive. Okay, they don't care about the effects of others. They're in this emergency to get supply. Now, if they don't get the supply, okay, they feel what's called narcissistic injury and narcissistic rage. They feel what any baby would feel if you had no mother. That's why they're so aggressive and violent, because they got to control things like that. And if someone does respond to them, well, theirs anyway, it's supposed to be like that. So that there can't be any gratitude like that. Plus, the psychic structure needed for gratitude and love and affection is differentiation, but narcissism didn't differentiate. They don't have that sense of self. They don't have that authentic self. They don't have that feminine principle, feminine element. They didn't differentiate. They identified with the aggressor. They made that Faustian pact like that, where they have this. They're in an addicted hypnotic trance. They said. So he's a little bit in a hypnotic addiction like that. People equate narcissism and with addiction very strongly. A lot of people put them together because the baby's in a blissful. Now, baby isn't addicted when he's wanting the mother. He's in a blissful feeling, but he's not addicted to that. He gets out of that when he's loved. But if he's traumatized there and you keep kind of re-experience it and you're getting a blip of that, whoa! Now, when you're older, you can remember feeling that, but the baby couldn't feel that kind of thing. Okay, so people with the narcissistic model like that, okay, where they're still looking for symbolic breast. So if they can spend their whole life coercing others, fooling others, deceiving others, tricking others, coercing others, to feed them while they hate them and thingify them, but they got to be fed by them. Okay, so they hate and shame others, but they got to receive their attention and goodwill towards them. While they hate them and have contempt for them, they still want it. They want their cake and eat it too, like that. I think the prototype for this is that in the uterus, okay, down the center vein, the baby gets all the goodness that he needs: oxygen, food, nutrients, all the nourishment, everything the baby needs gets sent down the center vein, the staff. Look at the medical symbol, the staff there. This Lucius image. And the baby's waste elimination goes up the other two veins, spirals up like the snakes to the placenta. Placenta takes care of everything. Okay, so placenta is like a thing that belongs to him. So placenta absorbs the baby's waste, okay, and the center vein sends down the food and nourishment that he needs. Okay, so he's in that setup kind of thing. Okay, he didn't get out of that setup. So that's why he expects constant positive regard from others, admiration from others. He wants to coerce and trick others to think he's the authority. He's good, he's right, okay, important, etc. Okay, while he hates and dumps and shames, and they got to take it. But he can never admit that when people admire him, he's got to see them as a dumping thing, a dumping ground. And while they're being fed, because they're still treating others as phantom placentas, symbolic breasts or symbolic placentas. I'm talking about the prototype that's laid down, the memory that's laid down. It's hard to talk about it sort of more professionally or something. I'm not I only have a BA, keep that in mind. I'm the compiler of codes. I'm not a doctor, professor, gynecologist, midwife, doula, nutritionist, cultural anthropologist, biologist, chemist. No master's degree, no counseling degree, never studied psychology. So I'm compiling these codes. I'm trying to learn this perspective myself. And unfortunately, the saddest thing of it all is I haven't been analyzed. So I can't come from a place where I can share with you what I learned from a wise person kind of thing. I like what Lucy the other Lucy Freeman did in TQ 2822, and then following that, we posted some quotes from a book called Fight Against Fears, where she went to the shrink and she reported what her shrink said to her in the book. It's an excellent book like that. We posted the best quotes from her. And that shrink wouldn't even know about him. John Thurrott, no books, no articles, but she reported this guy is a real person, according it seems. And then, so she had the delight of sharing what she learned like that. And she had the experience of it and shared it in her book. It was a best-selling book, 1951 book, best-selling book kind of thing. And it's a good book, yeah. A lot of personal anecdotes and things, but okay, whatever. But in terms of the insights and the clarity of writing, it's an excellent book. So we posted several quotes from hers, right? For example, John Thurrott said to her, said, quote, "Ask yourself, why didn't my mother love me?" Whoa, what kind of question is that, shrinker man? Okay, let me give it a try. Why didn't my mother love me? Whoa, Okay, so we have to mourn the loving mother that should have been there, that we should have had. We didn't have that. That's the point. We got to admit that we didn't get that loving mother experience. She was impaired. She was in pain. She couldn't see the present. She was repeating her past. So she had to shame her baby because she needed to use the baby as a proxy of her to shame, because she's trying to know that their mother shamed her. She's got to shame her baby so that she can eventually know that her mother shamed her, and she's become that shaming mother. So so we repeat, because she doesn't remember, she's going to repeat it like that, you know. So whatever dysfunctional outcome we have when we experience relational trauma, interpersonal trauma, attachment trauma, betrayal trauma, the greatest hurt of all, mother failing, whatever dysfunctional setup we create, whatever false self we create to make us unaware of the pain, and you know, treating others badly, their mother treated us, or recreating disappointments because mother disappointed us. Okay, whatever dysfunction that we're living, we're whitewashing her crime, we're whitewashing her lovelessness. We still believe that the pain she inflicted on us was love. That's what babies do. They cannot know the truth. They delude themselves. They think mother's a goddess. The more the mother hurts the baby, the more the baby thinks the mother's a goddess. So the baby's got a lie like that. It's called a splitting, psychic splitting. Okay, to fool himself, to feel safe, to take in the powder stuff. He's got to survive like that. But you see, that's just like a desperate emergency on the baby like that. Later on, when you're older, you got to update that. So this updating process is called the second journey of midlife, the midlife audit, the midlife examination period. Joseph Campbell's famous phrase, the hero's journey. I prefer Chinen's, it's called the second journey of midlife. The shrinks call it adult development, where at midlife you face your original development and update it all, because otherwise you're still repeating the thing. So you want to update the script. You want to unpick the threads of a traumatic script, use those threads to weave in a healthier script. So you got to identify the script. Okay, now so the core theory here is we don't remember what happened to us. We couldn't think it. It's known, but we can't think it. That's the scarecrow, no brain. The unthought known. Scarecrow can't think it because it's got no brain. So we know something. It's in the body remembers. The body keeps the score. Okay, every body tells a story. It's in the implicit memory system, the procedural memory system, the body memory system. It's recorded. It's known. It's in the unconscious. It's repressed like that. Our second self knows it. Our secret self knows it. Our shadow self knows it. Our double self knows it. Okay, the one who walks with me, who's not like me, who is me. That person knows it. A stranger with him, or someone's living my life. I know nothing about him. This unknownness of us, this unconscious self knows it, but our consciousness can't think it. We can't think, but it's known. Now this repressed self functions like a puppet master now, and there's no time there. Okay, and we have the hope to repeat the interaction to get a better outcome. So we're going to recreate new editions of the past, hoping that the new edition of the past can be the proper past that was needed back then. Doesn't make sense because there is time, but that part of the brain doesn't know time. The way I was just talking now for the past 5 minutes, I did that for almost 2 hours. I was talking a mile a minute because the caffeine kicked in. So I noticed I still have a little bit of a caffeine left in me. Oh, Jesus. I keep all my bloopers and mistakes. I think there's a condensation or some kind of a condensation with the fan above me there. Let's see if I can adjust me here. Let's try that. Yeah, luckily I got lucky today. It's Sunday mid-afternoon, so once in a while, oddly enough, once in a while, I get these kind of quietish times. It's rare. Usually it's busy all over the place. Once in a blue moon, it's a bit like this. Oh, I got some just beside me. Okay, let's see if he doesn't mind me talking, I guess I can keep going. Or let me just take a peek. Let's see. Hold on a second. Yeah, I see some empty spots. Let's move. Let's take it over in a second. Give me 2 minutes here. this one here. Wait till she's finished up over there. Yeah, they just left, but she's got to clean the table. Sorry for the delay here. It's not going to work. Let's try this. Okay, let's see if I get back on track. Yeah, I missed that take one. I was I wasn't, yeah, I wasn't bad, I thought. I had the feeling that I was becoming maybe a little more articulate. Maybe I'm getting a little more familiar with the material. Maybe I'm gaining a little more confidence with it. I was feeling that a little bit as I was talking to part one. So it's kind of a pity we lost that one. So let's do some kind of salvage here in part two. Take two, pardon me, take two. It's way more distracting like this, but let's wait for this here to finish. Hold on a second. Let me just stand here then for a minute. I got some new trainees and new students and things. I think a lot of, I just noticed, I just realized that maybe a lot of internships are done here or something. Let's see. Okay, hang on, where are we here? Okay, let's just get across the basic point about narcissism. So the quote-unquote etiology, or the cause of it. So the symptoms of it we know, right? They make everything about them, they're the center, they exploit, they lie, they fool, they deceive, they don't care about the effects on others because they're the center, they're entitled, everything's about them. They don't love or relate to others because they don't have the psychic structure to do so. The psychic structure, i.e. the internal working model to love and all that, is what's called differentiation. Differentiation naturally takes place when the baby feels safe with the mother. Then he feels so safe, then he can hatch out of the oneness that's there. If he doesn't feel safe, he can't do it. He crosses over, makes the deal with her like that, where he gives up himself. Then proxies can play him, which he shames. Now he's got to shame and hate others to not feel that he's hating and shaming himself. That's what the mother did to him. That's the deal he makes. He gets that power like that, and doesn't have to care about time, or doesn't have to care about feelings or the awkwardness of feelings and all that. Doesn't have to care about the messiness of the quote-unquote human side of being human. Doesn't have to care about apology or making amends or empathy. Doesn't have to see the third side of the coin. He can just say, well, I'm entitled, it's mine. Not who cares. Or it's mine and he's angry that it should be his. So he's just very, life is simple like that, right? He just thinks that everything's in terms of survival. Loving and affection, that stuff, you gotta be kidding. You gotta hate that stuff. See, mother, I hate it because you hate it. Can I go back? Okay. Actually, what about this? Yeah, what about this right here? Usually never sit on this side. Let's try this. Yeah, okay, let's just stay here. Okay. Oh, if I sit like this, it's way too distracting. I've got all these things in front of me. It's way too... Like the whole staff at the counter is just beside me, and they got like half a dozen or so guests just across there. Okay, let me get used to this kind of thing here. Actually, I wasn't bad at the escalator, right? I had some awkward character just sit right beside me, just facing, like, straight at me kind of thing, staring at me kind of thing. You know, some people, coming up, I don't know, maybe 15 quotes. I've got a kind of a backlog at the moment where I'm kind of 10 pages behind here. So in 10 videos from now, we have some quotes about this issue of people who can't do intimacy, so they look for intensity. So the shrinks will point this out, that the client cannot make an I statement or be honest or vulnerable, so they pick a fight. So they look for intensity as an ersatz, pseudo, fake, cheesy form of connecting, because they can't be vulnerable and share their feelings to connect. They can't have that human to human, person to person relating like that. So they just pick fights and look for the intensity and the chemistry of it all. So this is like the manic defense or that kind of thing. So I'm just beginning that point. I only have a few quotes in that area, but it's coming up, yeah. So people are provocative, you know. Maybe it's a sign that they can't relate or love or make I statements or share vulnerability. So they just look for intensity instead. It's called externalized living. They have a positive inner experience. They feel emotionally. They don't have their authentic self. Oh yeah, she was saying, she quoted somebody about self-help books. The reason narcissists hate self-help books because, well, you got to have a self to relate to with the material. But the truth is, a lot of self-help books are just money-making scams, or the authors are looking for their own selves as well, or they're just looking for narcissistic supply by getting admirers or something. So a lot of self-help books are kind of not that helpful actually, but if you have a sense of self, the better self-help books, you might find value in it, right? Like this. Can I change it? So I think I do it like this. Yeah, let's go back to my old way. Yeah, let's go back to that. Wait a second.